Close your eyes, just for a second. Imagine this. Every debt, every pressure, every financial worry begins to soften, melting away like salt dissolving in water. Inside your home, no more harsh words, no more heavy sighs. The air feels lighter, brighter. Can you hear it? As if a clean breeze has just swept through, carrying away the dust of yesterday. The energy in your home feels renewed. Sounds magical, doesn't it? But today, I, Master Yip, want to share with you an ancient secret, so simple that you've probably overlooked it hundreds of times in your own kitchen. A small jar of salt. Yes, that's all. Placed in the right spot, with the right intention, that little jar can open the flow of prosperity, dissolve heavy energy, and invite peace back into your home. I know this not from books, but from over 40 years of walking through homes, from glowing villas to humble apartments. And everywhere I go, I see one truth. When energy is blocked, life is blocked. Dreams stall. Money comes and goes. Sleep grows restless. Relationships lose warmth. Then, with one simple act, a jar of salt, placed at the right time, in the right corner, a subtle shift begins. No noise, no drama, just a quiet transformation, steady as groundwater softening the earth, restoring balance both in your space and within your spirit. Feng Shui is not superstition. It is the art of guiding energy, allowing qi, the invisible life force, to flow, to stay, and to bloom. In that sacred flow, salt is the silent guardian, absorbing heaviness, returning clarity, gathering scattered winds, and nurturing inner peace. So today, if you're ready, let's open the first door together to understand the true energy of salt and why a single jar, placed with mindfulness, can transform the vibration of your entire home. Before we continue, leave your positive affirmation in the comments below. I allow peaceful energy to fill my home. These affirmations are keys that unlock good energy. And if you can feel what I'm sharing, hit like to spread this vibration. Share this video so others may find peace in their own homes. And subscribe to join me, Master Yip, on this journey of Feng Shui wisdom, abundance, and tranquility. Why salt can dissolve negative energy. My dear friend, in Feng Shui, salt is not just a seasoning. It is a crystal of energy, born from the union of two fundamental elements in the 5 phases: water, shui, and earth, tu. Water represents flow, flexibility, and fortune, the movement of wealth and opportunity. Earth represents grounding, stability, and the ability to hold and nurture. When water and earth merge, they create salt, a substance that purifies and stabilizes energy at the same time. That is why salt is seen as the crystallization of universal balance. In energetic language, you can think of salt as an invisible air purifier. It absorbs low vibrations, the energies of exhaustion, tension, conflict, and failure, then releases clarity, calmness, and serenity back into the space. Once the energy field is cleansed, Sheng Qi, the life-giving positive current, can move freely, nourishing every corner of your home, every breath you take, and every emotion within. Many people ask me, Master, Is this real or just belief? I smile, because even modern science now confirms what ancient masters sensed intuitively. The structure of salt crystals is extraordinary. Each grain is a perfect cube with a naturally stable frequency. When placed in a space, these crystals emit negative ions that neutralize chaotic positive charges from electronic devices, Wi-Fi waves, and even human emotional tension. That's why spas, meditation rooms, and even hospitals today use Himalayan salt lamps to purify both air and energy. In Feng Shui, we call this purified energy brings forth wealth. When the energy is purified, wealth naturally grows. You may not see it with your eyes, but you'll feel it. The air becomes lighter, sleep deeper, thoughts clearer. So never underestimate a simple jar of salt. Within every grain lies the essence of ocean and earth, the strength of nature, and the ancient wisdom of humankind. When you place it in your home with respect, you are inviting purity, prosperity, and peace to dwell with you. A few years ago, during a consulting trip in Vancouver, I met a Chinese-Canadian man named David Lee. He was the CEO of a major tech company, intelligent, disciplined, and hardworking. But when we spoke, he sighed and said, "Master Yip, I don't understand why everything feels so heavy. Work has stalled, employees are leaving, and I can't sleep well. It feels like a dark cloud is always following me." I looked at him, a man who appeared strong on the outside, yet carried immense pressure within. I could feel it. The energy around his body was congested, like a river blocked by debris. I told him, "David, the human body has energy channels just like a home. When those channels are blocked, not only your work, but also your mind becomes suffocated. Let salt help you release that burden." I instructed him to sprinkle a small amount of sea salt along his spine each night before bed, allowing the salt to draw out the heavy energy, the worries, irritation, and fatigue accumulated during the day. I told him to do this for 7 consecutive nights, and each time to take a deep breath, close his eyes, and whisper, "I am being cleansed. I am returning to pure energy." I also advised him to sprinkle a pinch of salt inside his shoes, then rotate them clockwise 3 times to cleanse the energy of his steps. As I often tell my students, every step carries an energetic imprint. When the feet are purified, the path ahead becomes brighter. After just 5 days, David called me, his voice lighter than before. "Master, I finally slept well after months of insomnia, and strangely enough, work seems to be improving. I feel clearer, lighter." I simply smiled, because I knew when energy is cleansed, the heart opens and fortune naturally shifts. From that experience, I became even more convinced that salt doesn't just purify spaces, it frees the flow of energy within people. And now, for salt to truly become the guardian of prosperity, you must learn how to choose the right salt jar, the vessel that will hold and amplify this energy. How to choose the right salt jar. Once your own energy is cleansed, the next step is to select the vessel, the container that will become the silent guardian of your home's qi, the Feng Shui salt jar. If chosen correctly, this jar will serve as the energetic anchor of your space, keeping the energy stable and harmonious. But if chosen poorly, it can scatter energy, block wealth flow, or even create imbalance. So choose your jar with respect and mindfulness, as if you were choosing a trusted energetic companion. One question mark. Material, the foundation of energy. Material is the first thing to consider. In Feng Shui, ceramic is the best choice. It belongs to the earth element, representing stability, strength, and the power to hold qi. A thick, heavy ceramic jar brings a sense of steadiness and reliability. It's like fertile soil, a place where energy can take root and grow. If ceramic isn't available, you may use thick, clear glass. Glass belongs to the water element, suitable for modern interiors and good for energy circulation. However, it must be pure glass, not mixed with plastic or metal. Avoid plastic or metal jars at all costs. Plastic carries dead energy with no vitality, and metal clashes with salt. Water controls metal, causing energy to become cold and dispersed. 2. Shape, the symbol of wholeness. Choose a round, smooth, full-bodied jar. In Feng Shui, round shapes symbolize completeness, harmony, and continuity, just like the gentle flow of wealth energy, which should never be obstructed by sharp corners. Avoid square, pointed, or angular jars. These forms can block energy and create instability. 3. Color. The pathway of energy color also carries meaning. Ivory white represents bright, cleansing, and expansive yang energy. Earth brown represents grounding and stability, helping wealth energy stay longer. You may tie a red string around the jar's neck or choose one with subtle red patterns to activate the fire element, symbolizing vitality, faith, and inspired action. 4. The salt, the soul of the ritual. Always use coarse sea salt, unbleached and unprocessed. It retains the purest natural energy. When you pour the salt into the jar, do not pack it tightly or fill it to the brim. Leave a small space at the top so the energy can breathe, circulate, and absorb new qi. A salt jar is not decoration. It is a living vessel of energy, a simple yet powerful spiritual tool. Choose it with reverence, for every choice you make is a quiet conversation with the universe. And the universe always listens to those who choose with a calm and sincere heart. From here, once your salt jar is ready, we will move on to the 6 golden Feng Shui locations to place it, the points where energy begins to move and wealth finds its way into your home. Position. 1. The southeast corner, the wealth palace. In Feng Shui, the southeast is called the treasury corner, the area where wealth energy gathers and multiplies. If money seems to slip away no matter how hard you work, start here. Use a compass or a phone app to locate your home's southeast corner. Choose a clean, bright, elevated spot, free of clutter and moisture. This will be your energy vault. At the bottom of the jar, place a paper bill folded into a pyramid to focus and attract prosperity. A small gold coin, symbolizing the endless flow of abundance. 1 dried garlic clove to guard against draining energy. Once arranged, softly affirm, "I invite prosperity to enter, and I allow it to stay." Avoid placing the jar near sinks or leaks. Too much water energy can wash wealth away. Keep the corner bright and calm. Within weeks, you may notice subtle shifts, steadier finances, smoother work, and a stronger sense of flow. When the southeast shines, fortune flows. Money no longer runs from you. It begins to stay and multiply. Position 2? Behind the main door, the mouth of energy. Your front door is the mouth of your home, where qi and therefore fortune enters. Each time the door opens, new energy arrives. But if the flow is chaotic, restlessness or financial ups and downs can follow. To balance this, place a small salt jar just inside the door, hidden behind a plant or beside a wall. Never in the direct walkway. You may tie a red thread around the jar's neck or drop in a garlic clove for protection. Replace it every 3 months or sooner if the salt hardens or darkens. And bury the old salt in soil or release it into running water. When the doorway breathes clean energy, everything that enters your life becomes lighter and calmer. A home that guards its mouth, like a body that protects its breath, keeps its life force strong. Position 3, ? Beside the rice container, the granary of abundance. The kitchen is the heart of prosperity. Fire from the stove represents vitality. Rice symbolizes nourishment and wealth. Placing a salt jar near the rice container activates harmony among the 5 elements: water, salt, wood, rice, fire, earth, and metal. When water nourishes wood, abundance takes root. Place the jar on a stable surface near the rice, but away from the stove and sink. Size doesn't matter, balance does. Once a month, rotate the jar 3 times clockwise and whisper, "I am grateful for the energy of nourishment and prosperity growing in this home." You may add a small concave mirror behind it to reflect and amplify the wealth energy. When the kitchen is clean, warm, and full of good aroma, this placement radiates the vibration of comfort, success, and steady income. Position 4 ? Under the stairs, the hidden energy chamber. The staircase is the spine of your home. It moves energy between levels. Yet beneath it, yin energy tends to stagnate. A salt jar placed under the stairs absorbs moisture and heavy vibrations, keeping the entire structure energetically balanced. Use a ceramic or glass jar on a wooden or porcelain tray, never directly on the cold floor. Cover it lightly with a red cloth or place a garlic clove beside it. If that space stores shoes, laundry, or boxes, the salt jar becomes even more essential to neutralize stale energy. Check it every few months. When it clumps or darkens, replace it. And thank the old jar before burying it in the earth. When the energy below is cleansed, the house stands firm and everything above it thrives. It acts as your spiritual foundation. When yin is purified, yang can rise. Position 5 ? Near the bathroom, the zone of energy leaks. Bathrooms are release zones, places where water and energy flow out. If unbalanced, they drain vitality and wealth. Place a salt jar outside the bathroom, in a dry, hidden corner, never inside. Enhance it with dried orange peel for freshness and optimism, a garlic clove for protection, or a small note reading "Purity" to anchor intention. Keep the area dry, let sunlight and air circulate, and the salt will quietly absorb any lingering heaviness. When the release zone is purified, the body feels lighter, the family calmer, and fortune flows like a gentle stream. Balanced outflow creates balanced income. Position 6 ? The northwest corner, the realm of heavenly support. Finally, the northwest corner, the heavenly seal or benefactor area, governs mentors, allies, and unseen support. When activated, it opens doors to guidance, protection, and timely help. place a small ceramic or glass salt jar in the northwest. Inside, add a gold coin for abundance and protection, a slice of dried ginger or a garlic clove for earth energy and endurance. Keep this corner calm, bright, and free from TVs or loud electronics. Benefactor Qi prefers serenity. Over time, you may notice synchronicities, help arriving at the right moment, a supportive friend, a new opportunity. When the northwest shines, helpers appear. The salt jar here may not bring instant cash, but it opens the path for helping hands to find you. When all 6 salt jars are placed with awareness, your home transforms into a living energy grid, where yin and yang dance in balance. The 5 elements support one another, and qi circulates freely like breath. Each jar acts as a guardian, silently filtering the invisible energy around you. They don't perform magic. They respond to your intention. Treat them with respect. Keep them clean. Change them with gratitude, and speak to them with calm presence. In doing so, you'll notice that life begins to flow more naturally. Relationships soften, opportunities appear, and money feels easier to hold. From here we move to the next lesson, understanding what not to do so your salt's energy remains pure, strong, and long-lasting. A home aligned with heaven and earth needs no luck. It becomes luck itself. After teaching and guiding thousands of students and homeowners over more than 40 years of Feng Shui practice, I've learned that most people don't fail because they lack belief. They fail because they unknowingly make small but critical mistakes. In Feng Shui, placing correctly matters far more than placing often. Energy flows only when you understand how it moves. One question mark. Placing the salt jar in the south area of your home or room. This is the most common mistake I see. In the 5 elements, the south belongs to fire, while salt represents water. And water controls fire, just like water extinguishes a flame. When you put a salt jar in the south, you unintentionally weaken the home's energy of vitality, fame, and recognition. People who live there may feel drained, lose motivation, or struggle to be acknowledged without realizing why. If you wish to enhance your reputation or public image, keep the south bright and warm. Hang a picture of the sun. Use candles or red decor, but avoid salt completely. Salt carries water energy. Fire must be fed by light, not drowned by water. 2 question mark. Placing the salt jar in damp, cluttered, or dirty areas. Many people think, salt absorbs moisture, so I'll put it where it's damp. That's a misunderstanding. Salt absorbs not only moisture, but also qi, and not all qi is good. When you place salt near drains, clutter, or anything unclean, it soaks up polluted, stagnant vibrations, turning into a storage tank of negative energy that can quietly leak back into your living space. Always remember, salt works only in clean, quiet, and sacred environments. Like a lotus flower, it can bloom only in clear water. 3 question mark. Placing the salt jar near electronics or strong heat sources. Some people keep their salt jars beside the stove, microwave, or Wi-Fi router, unaware that these devices emit electromagnetic frequencies that disturb the crystal structure of the salt. When that happens, the salt loses its ability to purify and stabilize energy. The surrounding qi becomes agitated, leading to irritability, poor sleep, and frequent tension in the household. If you wish to keep a salt jar in the kitchen, place it at least 3 feet, 1 meter away from any heat or electric source. Let the salt breathe in stillness only. Then can it truly work in peace. 4. Not replacing the salts when it becomes clumpy, moist, or discolored. An overused salt jar is like a sponge already soaked. It can't absorb any more. When you see the salt turning gray, clumping, or smelling off, it has already drawn in heavy, stagnant energy. Keeping it too long allows that energy to seep back into your home, affecting health, emotions, and financial flow. Replace the salt every 2 to 3 months, or sooner if needed. Never toss it into the trash. Instead, bury it in clean soil or release it into running water, returning it to nature. When you thank the salt and release it with respect, the universe sends back fresh, radiant energy. 5. Using Feng Shui salt for cooking. A serious taboo. This is the most dangerous and, unfortunately, the most common mistake. Because the salt still looks clean, people think it's fine to reuse. They forget that Feng Shui salt has already absorbed energetic residue, invisible yet potent. Cooking with it is like ingesting old energy. Soon you may feel heavy, irritated, or mentally dull. Always remember, salt used for energy work is no longer food. It's a spiritual tool that has completed its duty and must be returned to nature, not consumed by the body. When you use objects for energy work, treat them as sacred allies, not lifeless things. They are companions that help you remain balanced, peaceful, and prosperous. Feng Shui is not superstition. It is the art of communicating with energy, where every gesture and every placement becomes a message to the universe. And when you speak with gratitude and respect, the universe always responds with harmony, abundance, and peace. When I share the salt jar ritual, I receive countless questions from students and homeowners around the world. Today, I'll answer a few of the most common, simple questions that actually have a big impact on Feng Shui results. Question 1. Master, can I have more than 1 salt jar in my home? Yes, you can, but no more than 3. In Feng Shui, all energy must remain in balance. Too many jars amplify the water element of salt, which can overpower the other elements, causing energetic clashes that disperse wealth rather than attracting it. Choose 3 key locations, for example, the southeast, wealth corner, behind the main door, and beside the rice container. Place them with care and let them work in silence. Question 2. Is it okay if other people see my salt jar? Ideally, no. A salt jar works best when kept quiet, hidden, and undisturbed. Salt's energy acts like a guardian. The quieter it is, the stronger its protection becomes. If possible, place the jar behind a plant, under a shelf, or behind a small decorative item to preserve its privacy and purity. Question 3. What should I do when the salt clumps, changes color, or smells strange? That means the jar has completed its duty. It has absorbed all the heavy energy it could and can no longer function effectively. Replace it with a new one and return the old jar to nature by burying it in clean soil or releasing it into a flowing stream. As you do, softly say, "Thank you for protecting my family." A moment of gratitude helps close the energy cycle in harmony. Question 4. I followed everything correctly, but nothing seems to change. Why? Check your jar's placement again. Make sure it's not in the south, not damp, not near electronics, and not in a messy area. If everything is correct, the issue may lie in your inner energy. Energy flows only when your heart is calm and trusting. Feng Shui is not magic. It's the art of aligning your vibration with your living space. When you believe, the salt responds. When you are peaceful, prosperity finds its way to you. See each salt jar as a silent friend, one who says nothing, yet quietly absorbs your fatigue and returns peace to your heart. Once you've chosen the right salt jar and placed it properly, the next step to elevate its energy is to activate it, to turn it from a still object into a living energy center. First, fold a paper bill into a small pyramid shape and place it directly under the jar. The pyramid represents focused and accumulated energy, helping wealth qi not only flow in, but stay, gather, and grow over time. Just as solid ground supports a tree, a properly placed bill gives your prosperity energy a foundation to root and flourish. Next, you can personalize your salt jar with small supporting items, depending on your intention. For protection of wealth energy, add a dried garlic clove. For refreshing and uplifting qi, add dried orange peel. For financial growth, place a gold coin or a small gold leaf. For success and victory, use a bay leaf. To boost motivation and career progress, add a cinnamon stick to activate the fire element. Finally, to keep the salt jar alive in positive vibration, replace the salt every 2 months. Once a month, gently rotate the jar 3 times clockwise while affirming silently, "I activate the flow of prosperity within my home." At that moment, you are directly communicating with the universe, sending out a gentle but powerful message that you are ready to receive abundance, peace, and balance. Remember, placing a salt jar is not a miracle spell. It won't make you rich overnight, but it awakens something deeper: awareness, mindfulness, and belief in positive energy. Every time you place a salt jar in your home, you are declaring to the universe, "I am ready. I am open. I am worthy of prosperity." Feng Shui, at its core, is not superstition. It is the art of arranging energy so that we live in harmony with nature. When your home is clean and bright, qi flows freely. Fortune opens up, and your heart becomes lighter. Each time you tidy your space, replace your salt, or bury the old jar with gratitude, you are performing a quiet act of self-healing. Because when your home is cleansed, your mind is cleansed. When your heart is calm, blessings naturally arrive. Now, let's close this ritual together with one final affirmation. Softly, but from your heart. I open my heart to receive prosperity. Feel this energy radiate from your chest, spreading through every room, filling your entire home like morning light. This is the moment you reconnect with the flow of universal energy, where abundance is not distant, but already surrounding you. If you can feel this vibration, write your affirmation in the comments below. For example, I am worthy of abundance. I choose peace and fulfillment. And share this video to help others find serenity and light within their own homes. I am Master Yip, with over 40 years of guiding thousands of families toward balanced, prosperous energy. I wish you a home full of light, a peaceful mind, and an endless stream of good fortune. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a Feng Shui guide that helps unlock prosperity and peace every day. Top of form.